It's that time of year again, you guys. It's Halloween. And as the spooky skeleton war rages on, I think now is a more appropriate time than ever to tell you all a spooky story I've been saving for a very special occasion. This story revolves around a series of probably not great decisions that I made following my senior year of high school. That said, this series of mishaps ended up being one of the better adventures I've been on. Sometimes the most fun things are the dumbest things. Now that we've reinforced that concept, let me tell you about my camping trip. I think I mentioned this all the way back in the Chad video, but in June of 2018, me and some friends decided to go camping. Seems innocent enough, right? Teenagers going camping. There definitely aren't horror movies that start that way. Well, gang, here we are in a secluded forest for our secret teenage getaway. Hey, Brian, why don't you and Goofy find some firewood while the girls and I pick out a campsite? Brian? Brian? Golly jeepers! So the plan was simple. My friends Ethan, Kendall, and Lily would meet me in the parking lot of a large field with our camping supplies. And from there, we'd hike into the woods and set up camp at a secret lake that Ethan and Kendall knew about. Here's where things get tricky. The field where we plan to meet, it's a public park, and it closes at 6. As I drove to the park, still traumatized from getting chased down my driveway by a rooster just moments earlier, I thought over the very real possibility that my car could get towed and I could be sued. Ethan and Kendall had done this before and reassured me that nothing bad would happen. I was doubtful, but I trusted my friends. That was my first mistake. Lily was waiting for me as I pulled into the parking lot. Ethan and Kendall were kind of a thing, and just having graduated high school, I'd done enough third wheeling to last a lifetime, so I was thrilled to have someone to talk to. Neither of us had been camping before, and it's safe to say we were a little nervous when Ethan and Kendall arrived. The four of us did a quick inventory. We had 3 tents, 4 full water bottles, a hammock, my graham crackers, Lily's marshmallows, Ethan and Kendall's chocolate matches and flashlight, and a can of LaCroix for some reason. Having gone down the list, we set off into the woods, leaving our 3 cars behind to presumably get towed. A short way into the woods, we found the train tracks, and Ethan and Kendall led us down the tracks toward the lake. A few minutes in, the tracks passed over a swamp, and we found a small turtle that was stuck between the rails.
Hey look, that turtle is stuck between the rails.
It'll get out, don't worry about it.
I'm just gonna help him a little bit.
Dude, you're gonna get salmonella. Plus, it's illegal to touch turtles in state parks.
Relax, I got this.
So we walked for half an hour down the tracks before Ethan told us to turn right into the forest, and it was there that we came across the final obstacle. This is a fence.
Yeah? So?
So this isn't a park or even a railroad anymore. This is private property.
Relax, we've done this before. Nobody ever comes out here.
I'd come this far, and with every passing moment it was getting darker. So I followed him. We spent the next few minutes trudging through some thick foliage and presumably poison ivy before we came upon the hazy lake. While Ethan and Kendall set up the tents and hammock, Lily and I dug out a spot for the campfire. When we were done, Ethan brought his matches over to light the fire.
This'll only take a second. Don't worry, this usually happens. One more shot. I'm sure I'll get it next time.
It wasn't long before we were out of matches. Unfortunately, we'd forgotten a crucial detail in our otherwise perfect plan: the Florida summer humidity. And to make matters worse, humidity isn't the only sucky part of Florida summers. Hey, does anyone else feel something on their skin?
Now that you mention it, I do. Little tickly things landing on my arms.
Wait a minute. Ah! Get it off, get it off, get it off. Ow, 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 ow,
Functional
ow,
bug spray isn't real. It's fake. It's a government conspiracy, like bears and the state of Alaska.
Ethan and Kendall made a run to the other tent for their supplies, and we all laid in the tent, watching the stars and slowly sweating ourselves to death. Because we were next to a lake, there was a constant chorus of croaking frogs and chirping crickets. It was an incredibly peaceful night. Hey guys, doesn't this seem like the kind of spot some hooligan teenagers would get murdered by the bad guy in a horror movie? For some reason, this is about when people, Kendall, started getting paranoid.
What was that?
My foot?
Well, stop moving it.
Uh-huh. But this wasn't to say there weren't real things to be paranoid about.
Is it gone?
positive now.
Of what?
They're getting closer.
Suddenly, every groan became a vengeful spirit, every rustle in the bushes a monster rising from the foggy lake.
Can we agree to all stay in this one tent and talk continuously so we can't hear anything happening outside?
You mean so that when a serial killer inevitably comes to kill us, we can die swiftly and obliviously?
Exactly.
Works for me.
So we talked. We talked about how we were all nervous about college, about our dreams and aspirations and big ideas. And through these common emotions and shared experiences, everything felt a little less scary. I think if our teenage horror movie counterparts stayed together instead of splitting up, they might actually make it out alive. Eventually, the sun came up, like it always does, and the four of us broke camp, weary-eyed, sore, and sweaty. And never in my life have I seen a more beautiful morning. We walked back along the tracks, and miraculously, our cars were still in the parking lot, not even ticketed. So we loaded the camping gear into our trunks and left the park to get breakfast.
So that was the worst.
Yep.
God awful.
I don't know if I'll ever recover.
So, when are we doing it again?